search, right? Everything we talk about is Google. We were just having a quick chat there about Bing. But in terms of the e-commerce world, it really doesn't, not anymore. And why should we care? These are the statistics. Back in 2015, 45% of people started their shopping journey on Amazon. 34% in Google. Oh, a little bit too hard in there. There was a question at the end for you there. We see this in 2016 jump up to 56%. So 56% of people looking for a product started the journey on Amazon. And we all probably saw the slide after this as well. Does anyone want to guess what it was in 2018? Too heavy-handed with these things. 62%. So those e-commerce brands out there as well, at the moment in time, that are not on Amazon, you're missing out on 62% of your customers at the moment in time. And again, this is why it was really, really shocking to me when I first came into the SEO world and saw that not many people knew about Amazon. I came into Amazon, just to give a bit of background for myself. I started out life as an estate agent. I can't remember what the French is for estate agent. That's how my life started out. As you can imagine, it didn't pay very well, so I started a bit of a side hustle selling iPhone chargers, buying them on eBay and selling them on Amazon. We'll go into that a little bit more detail shortly. But this statistic right here, this is the one that really, really scares me when it comes to the e-commerce world. So if you look at the figure before, where it said that 15% of people look actually onto your website to find a product, 9 out of 10 of those people look onto your website, then go onto Amazon to get a better deal. I mean, what's on average? I know in the UK, on average, people are spending sort of 10, 15 grand a month on SEO. For this to happen to you guys. This is why Amazon's starting to pick up in the shopping sphere as well. Smart speakers, we were just talking then in terms of voice search as well. We've all seen the statistic that by this time next year, 50% of searches will be voice, right? Yeah, I don't agree with that at all in the slightest bit. It's certainly going to not help you in the e-commerce sphere as well, because 90%, in fact, I think this is actually the next slide, 90% of people, we'll go back to it later, 90% of people that are actually using voice search to shop are using Alexa. So in terms of your Google Home, your DuckDuckGo's options as well, it's not that big a deal for you guys at the moment in time. But these are why we need to look at Amazon optimization. 70% of people don't click past the first page. It's same as Google, right? That nobody cares if you're on page 2, you've got to be on there. The more alarming statistic is that most people don't go past the first link, whether it's paid or whether it's organic or sponsored product. So these are the statistics that make you worry, and this is why I'm going to give you the introduction. So Amazon's, there we go, slip of the tongue there, Google. Amazon's A9 and A10 algorithms base around content, conversion rate, and relevance. Does that sound familiar to anybody? Quick show of hands, who here did SEO back in 2008? And this is why Google optimization and Amazon optimization link over. Because Google is essentially, Amazon is essentially Google back before Panda and Penguin. That's scary thought. So that's content stuffing. We sell iPhone chargers for iPhone, and it's made of iPhone-specific material. We're going back to content stuffing. This is how easy it is to rank on Amazon these days. Do they care that they're an older product? Not in terms of the algorithm, not in the slightest, because Amazon's main job is to sell a product. And this is how they've come to overtake Google. If you can sell a product, Amazon will rank you. It doesn't matter how, it doesn't matter where. If you're selling a product, Amazon wants you on there because you are seen as a seller. Does it matter if you're a big brand like Asics? Brand search term, Asics running shoes men. Can anyone see any Asics on there? What if we change the SERP a little bit? Asics men's running trainers. We see 1, 2, but if we go back on the principle that people are going to click on the first link, we've got New Balance, New Balance, New Balance, VibDiv. Never even heard of VibDiv. They're ranking higher than ASICS for ASICS' own brand terms. And it just carries on. We don't get ASICS until three lines into it. So they've already lost 35% of their own brand traffic. We changed the SERP a little bit there. ASICS running trainers, full stop. This is where ASICS eventually comes back in. It's the same if you were Googling batteries. Duracell, Energizer, nothing to be there. You've got your Amazon own brand. iPhone chargers. 2 years ago, bearing in mind this is the peak of Apple's rise, do you want to know who was ranking first for iPhone chargers on Amazon? I was, me individually. I was ranking higher than Apple. I was ranking higher than Carphone Warehouse for selling Amazon chargers, Apple chargers. And this is the key factor here. Again, just like Google, the top 20% of people are making 80% of the revenue. So we need to make sure that we are ranking high and we are ranking well. This is a combination of PPC and, or SEA, pardon, and organic optimization. This is what I expect people to be like at this sort of moment in time. But I'll be completely honest with you, I did this with very little. I became an Amazon expert. I wouldn't say I'm an expert because it still does things that I don't completely understand, just as Google does for SEOs. But what it does do is that anyone can do it. You've just got to have the time to do it. So here are the key ranking factors. The organic side, the paid side, and the CRO. Not 100% like Google because we don't have any links to build. You can build links, but you're just building links to Amazon. You're helping Amazon. There we go. So going back into the content stuffing idea, going back to the idea that content is king, it's never really changed in Google, and it's not really going to change in Amazon as well. I'm going to give you some examples of organic results, but the second thing that I want you to take away, so the first thing being that Amazon does not care if you're a big brand, small brand. If you sell, you are selling. It doesn't care. That's how you rank high. The second thing is, if you know your customer, Amazon is yours for the taking. There's a big push at the moment in time in SEO for data being the key factor. And data is easy to come across in Amazon. All the brands here, I'm assuming will have CRMs, databases, et cetera, et cetera. If you know your customer, if you know when your customer likes to buy a product, seasonality, what device they like to buy products from, what time of day, what product, what country, what region they like to buy from. These are all simple data analytics tools that you can do. You can do these yourself. If you know these, Amazon is yours for the taking. It's the same for Google as well. Everyone likes to think that Amazon and Google is always one step ahead of what you guys are doing, when quite simply it's not. It's reacting to shifts in the market. The deep learning side of it is reactive. So if you know what your customers are going to do, then you're going to be one step ahead of Google and you're going to be one step ahead of Amazon as well. These are some of the tools that I like to use. We live in a very much an automated world at the moment in time, and I'm fully against it because, surprise, surprise, Google and Amazon are there to make money. So they're going to give you keywords from their own tools that would then suggest, oh, actually, you want to bid on these because you pay us 50 cents more or 50 pence more as well. But if you can do them yourself, you will save a massive amount. I've seen people save 30% on their ROI just for the pure and simple fact that they were manually targeting the keywords. And these are some of the keywords tools that I use. Helium 10 is probably the better one for you. It is a free version, but you only get limited use from it as well, but it's not that expensive. But one of the scary things is that if you look at Google Ads for your keyword research, just doing simple Google keyword research doesn't take you too far away from the actual SERPs for Amazon. The search volumes are remarkably similar. There's only sort of a few hundred a week difference. So these are usual tools, so if you've got them already, use them if you've got them for free. This is very much more accurate. It helps you predict ROI on products. It also helps you pick out products that you want to sell as well. Please stay away from iPhone chargers. I've just handed that over to the company as well, so if I automatically start dropping, Edit will start thinking that I'm trying to make my own money off them. So let's look into the organic results. I've purposely cut myself out of here as well. These are the top 3 organic for iPhone chargers. Can we just see this here when we talk about keyword stuffing, right? We sell iPhone chargers in 5 packs, small electronic lightning, cable, USB charging, 3-foot cord, Made for Apple, 3, 6, 7, 4, 2, 1. What does my grandmother's auntie's hairdresser like to do on a Saturday night? These are all keywords stuff in, like, as much detail as you can possibly get into your product and about your product, you will rank higher from this. So the organic optimization, I put into a keyword cloud of what you need to do to rank for organic. And this is what it is. The more you talk about your product, the better you will rank. It's all the organic side, and like I say, it is pretty much keyword stuffing, but don't do it too much in the title. So yeah, going back into the actual titles, because in terms of the organic, you've got two major spheres. You've got the actual title, then you've also got the bullet points when you're coming down into Amazon as well. So don't stack the keywords too much. Make sure that it's readable, because you need to sell, at the end of the day, it's the same for e-commerce. You need to sell to people, not search engines. So in the title, try and stick to 2 or 3, but then also use character breaks as well, and try to optimize the title's readability and length. Don't go too much into the keyword stuffing. This, if you need to take pictures, I would say is probably the more useful. Going straight to the mobile titles, it was only this time last year that more people started looking and buying products on Amazon via mobile than they were via desktop. And that only changes very, very slightly on a regular basis. So if you can find a healthy optimization between these, it depends on your product. But if you can find a decent number between these two, you'll get the best results. Ads are the same no matter what. Nice, short, sharp to the point. I'll get to those very shortly as well, because like I said, organic, PPC, and CRO are massive ranking factors in terms of Amazon. Let's talk about, back-end search terms. This is where you don't need to worry about readability. If you know what your keywords are supposed to be, this is where you can stuff it, because you don't need to worry about readability. You can then go iPhone, iPhone charger, space phone, or even misspellings as well. In terms of synonyms, Amazon's fine with it, but if you've got misspellings, make sure you put these into the back-end search terms. Did anyone see the mistake that I made on the iPhone charger part back at the right at the start? I searched for iPhone chargers with a space between the I, and I'd misspelled phone as well. But these are still things that rank, because people, when they're searching on Amazon, look for long-tail keywords, and they look to work very, very quickly. You type something in, you see what you want, and you go for it. This is how quick it is. I'm going to go into the conversion rates a little bit more detail shortly. But in terms of the e-commerce sphere, what would you say a good conversion rate is for just your standard site? Pardon? 3%. Yeah, that's fair. If I came to a customer and said, I'm going to bump you up from 2% to 3%, they're going to go for it as well. Does anyone want to guess what a non-Amazon Prime customer conversion rate is? 13% as a standard. Do you want to know what it is for Prime? 74%. If you were a Prime member, if you're targeting Prime members, they are 74% of your traffic is going to convert. Does anyone still want to spend 10, 15 grand a month on their SEO? Again, the same with PPC. I know there's always a division between PPC and the organic team. I, as a business development manager, always try and sell them both, because you're always going to get more money out of it, right? But this is the quickest way to drive sales, because, again, going back into those statistics, most people on Amazon are clicking on that first link. So this is the quickest way to drive sales. Again, start by targeting your keywords manually. You need to know your customers. If you know what your keywords are, you can target them. You can save yourself a lot of money as well. Some smaller products, I would then say probably start off as an automatic, coming to the actual what the form looks like. But you can start off as automatic for the smaller ones, and then you can see which keywords convert, and then target them, retarget them manually. That's a good way of doing it as well. But if you can target them manually, if you know what you're doing in terms of your Google, your Bing ads, this is a very easy way to do as well. I would always say as well, run your campaigns for the minimum of 4 weeks. That gets you the best data on your customers, gets you the best data on what's selling well on your keywords as well. So always run them for at least 4 weeks. If you are selling absolutely amazingly and everything's running smoothly, don't change it then. I'm not saying change it every 4 weeks. I've had clients say that to me before, oh, Dan, we need to change this, but we are quite happy to keep this amount coming in. If it's working well, it's working as expected. If your spending levels low enough, that's fine. If I said ACoS, does that word ring true to anybody? Does anyone know what that means? It's your advertising cost of spend. So how much it costs you to sell your products. These are, when you're looking into your user dashboard, need to be relatively low. The lower the ACoS, the better. The best I've ever seen is 5%. On average, at the moment in time, it's probably about 20–30%. That's including your Amazon, fulfilled by Amazon, handing over fees, etc., etc. Can we see the massive difference between the organic results and the paid results? Short, sharp, to the point. This is what people want on that side as well. And this is how you get the Amazon choice tag as well. So if you said, hey, no one's got, well, obviously no, you've not got Alexas with you, it's the Google Homes. If anyone said, hey, Alexa, add an iPhone charger, it's that one there. In this case there, it's Amazon's basics, but that changes on a 4-weekly basis as well. So when you're targeting your ads, you'll sometimes lose that choice tag, but it's an easy way to get back by doing some of the stuff that we're talking about here. As I said, this is a very top-line overview, and I apologize if I'm seeming like I'm speeding through it, but I don't want to keep you guys from lunch because I know how I feel about missing lunch. Does this style of form look familiar to anybody? It's just it's Google Ads circa 2008. Campaign name. What I will say as well for the campaign name, please, anyone that's doing it at the moment in time, please do not call your campaign Campaign 1 or Campaign. You need to analyze these things. You need to pull out the data. I've dealt with customers that have had literally hundreds of campaigns, all called Campaign 1. How are you supposed to pull any data from that? I need seasonality. I need to know what keywords are converting. You can't pull any data from Campaign 1. Campaign 13th of the 12th, 1986, or something along those sort of lines. Not that that's my birthday or anything like that, but yeah. Make sure your campaigns are unique, so you've got to pull the data. It's not fun looking at data, I appreciate that, but it's going to make you a lot of money. Average daily budget, it depends. I normally start off with a brand new campaign anywhere between $50 a day to $75 a day. I know it sounds a lot, but the initial surge in data and customer information that you get balances it out. And as I say, for the initial launch of a product, the higher you can rank on the first round of before the indexation happens, the better it'll be and the longevity that you get there as well. You will not spend $50 to $70 in one day for most products. If you're selling fireplaces or etc., you may spend that. But in terms of competitive keywords, you shouldn't end up spending more than sort of £20, £30 or dollars a day. Start date, end date, as I say, make sure that's a 4-week to start off with so you can pull the data. That gives you the best amount of data for the best amount of time as well. It gives you seasonality, it gives you the working month, gives people paydays, etc. You can see the spikes. More useful to have it 4 to 8 weeks than just to see, oh, actually, I'm running at a loss for this one. Your first campaign, most people will run at a loss. It's understandable and we don't want to do it, but by the second and third campaign, when you've done the optimization, that's when you need to be showing your ROI and the lower ACoS models as well. Now, in terms of keyword targeting, I've already mentioned that Amazon customers tend, well, depending on the continent, in Germany, they tend to stick with a single keyword. France, the UK, the US, we tend to go for the longer keywords, longer tail. We're probably looking at 3–4 words. So again, depending on your audience, go for broad or for phrases. The best, same with Google SEO and SEA, is to have a mixture of all the above. I tend to have different campaigns for three different, because then you can then see which ones are targeting better as well. So if you run one campaign for broad, one campaign for phrase, and one campaign for exact, and then you put that into your campaign name, you can see, right, okay, these exact keywords are working for me. This phrase is working for me. Oh, actually, this exact match is not working for me. I think I would have learned by now, actually, how to control one of these. So once your ad is set up, the best way to optimize is to actually offer a deal. We go back to that initial statistic that people go to your site, then pull to Amazon to actually find it cheaper. That's what people want. They are there for deals. And these are little tabs that you can put on. Buy now for 10% off. Buy this product and get this product free. These are the things that help Amazon converts for you guys, because people see these and they'll go for it. This is your Amazon customer. But it's not always a race to the bottom. if you, for example, I work with a lingerie company that's target women specifically of different body shapes. Now, one of their biggest worries when they came onto Amazon was that everyone's on the rush for the lowest price, and they're not necessarily going to be the lowest price. But again, targeting the same keywords that they did in Google, they found the same audience are looking on Amazon for this product as well. So yes, offering deals, offering the lowest price is a factor, but if you've got your keywords right as well, you're still doing the same targeting that you're doing in Amazon for Google as well. Just going into CRO a little bit here. This is going to be these are the quicker wins for you guys as well. So customer reviews. There are a lot of bots out there that will give you fake reviews. Amazon's algorithm are looking into quashing these. I've seen some bots give you 1,500 reviews overnight. These are massive ranking factors, and it's a quick way to get a choice tag, but Amazon is on its way to pulling these out. So the customer reviews, I tend to find with a new launch product, if you can get 20 or 30 of your first sales to actually give you a review, anywhere between 4 to 5 star, these are the best ways to get the quickest results as well. Answered questions. Now, the same way to get reviews is to get the way answered questions. You email your customer and say, what questions did you have when buying this product? And try and make it as engaging as possible. Are there any link builders in the room? So basically, so for those that don't do link building, it's basically making the email as engaging as possible, as personal as possible, to make sure that your customer does it. Because I'm bad for it. I very rarely leave reviews unless I've had a really good response. But if you've had a really good follow-up email saying, I really appreciate this, being a bit more honest about you. So if you're a startup company or what got you into this and why you're wanting to sell this, if you can be honest with people, you can make it personal, you can make it engaging, people will then get the reviews. They'll also answer the questions as well, because you're also nipping any bad reviews in the bud, because they don't go to the reviews, it's to say the bad things about you if you're already dealing with it off-site. Image size and quality, this needs to be 1,000 by 1,000 pixels minimum. People like to zoom in and rotate. There are some videos that you can upload, but just having the good quality pictures is a very good ranking factor in terms of quality in the CRO, because that's what people are looking for as well. Price, I know I said earlier, you don't have to be a race to the bottom, but it does help to be the cheapest. The best way to do this is to review your competitors and what you're doing on a very consistent basis. If your competitors have just suddenly dropped off 10, 15 euros per product less than you, you need to be adding value as to why you should be more expensive than these people. Exit rates and bounce rates. Now, these are the two biggest CRO factors. If someone comes onto your product, then leaves Amazon within a set amount of time, it's usually between 1 or 2 seconds. If anyone leaves from that point, Amazon will see you as a hindrance from selling in the future, and you will be ranked down very, very quickly. Same with bounce rates. If someone's done a search, you're one of the top people, they've clicked onto your page, and they've come straight off and gone to another one, you're seen as a hindrance in the sale. They've got algorithms based on how quickly sales should go through. They know what the conversion rate should be for which position. If you're not meeting these criteria, you're going to get dropped off very, very quickly. So when we go back into this now, then, what was the biggest ranking factor for Amazon? Sales. It's always going to be. I know it's a very chicken and egg scenario here, but I can't get sales unless I rank. But if you can get a sale, if you're selling and you're 3 or 4 down on the search, and the top competitors are not selling, you will jump very quickly. This is within sort of hours, you will see a massive jump. If more people are looking at your product than go into the products that are higher than you, Amazon realizes that these products that they've ranked higher are not doing the right thing for their customers. So they will then push them down and push you up as well. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter how long someone spends on your page, how long someone spends reading all the T's and C's, you've got to make sure that you're getting the sales. These can be monitored quite easily. The tools that I mentioned earlier will give you rough search results, and you can also use the algorithm to work out how many sales you should be getting as well. So you can monitor this yourself without actually having to come through them as well. It's just like App Store, really. Anyone doing any App Store optimization? Yes, so exactly. It's very similar to that. The more downloads you get, the better ranking you're going to get as well. Now, just with SEO and Google, there are black hat tactics as well. I'm not going to go into too much detail because none of them work anymore. There's obviously some link building tactics still work on the continent better than they do in the UK, but in terms of Amazon, it used to be the case that you could refund people through PayPal and say, oh, give me a review, I will then refund you through PayPal, or you'd send an email to the person saying, buy from me again, and you have 10, 15% discount. You can't do that anymore. You will get ranked down very, very quickly, and not just down, you will be off the page completely. I did have a better setup for that, but it didn't seem to go down as well as I hoped. Now, has anyone seen this pie chart before? When I first started out in Amazon, Rand Fishkin, after my first talk, released this graph. I felt a little bit of a personal attack because it's kind of gone against everything that I've just said. This is still true. People are going to search in Google, but we need to actually look into what actually search is. I used an example before, and I still can't remember what the answer is. If you ask Alexa or put into Amazon, who was the first king of Prussia, you're not going to get that answer. To be fair, you're not going to get the right answer from Google, but I can't remember who it is, but I know that Google's got the wrong answer for it. History buff, I'm just saying. You're always going to look for images. You're always going to look for answers. Your pub quiz debates are always going to be answered by Google rather than Alexa. So in terms of actual searches, Google is always going to be higher in that sense, but in terms of actual e-commerce sales, which, let's be honest, everyone's here to make money, right? Do we all do SEO for the love of it? That's the answer that I was hoping for. In terms of actual sales, you need to be on Amazon. This was sort of the feel that I had when this graph was released by one of the top SEOs in the world after I just done my first Amazon talk. But at the end of the day, if Google is searching and has the searches, that's fine. It's a bit like, at the moment in time, it's a bit like Abe Simpson. It's got a lot of knowledge, but it's got no teeth. You can't bite with no sales. That's what we're here for. At the end of the day, we need to have the sales to make sure that we've got justification for selling our products. Final thoughts from me is that the biggest issue that I have in terms of what people ask me in regards to Amazon is, Dan, I need to rank higher on voice. How do I rank higher for the voice search as well? Show of hands, how many people have got an Alexa? 2. All right, fair enough then. How many of you guys have actually bought anything? Worked out sort of well. 8% of people that use voice search buy anything with voice search. I think it's more because we actually want to have the actual physical product sort. We can see it with there's accountability there as well. There's also a revolution coming to the e-commerce world. Very much like the Minority Report. Amazon is opening stores, actual physical stores. And in these stores, there's rumors to be said that they're going to create shadow profiles for you guys. So if you've got an Amazon account already, the shadow profile will either pick you up, or if you're a new user, it will create the shadow profile for you. It will then measure your interactions with the products in the store. Tiny cameras in the actual store. So you come in, you're looking for kettle, t-shirt, whatever. It will monitor your reactions to color. It will react to texture. It will monitor actual human emotions. It then comes to, say, the changing room for the product. You then go into an interactive mirror that has then picked up your shadow profile and said, people that bought this also bought this, the typical Amazon product, the buy box. Or would you prefer it in this size? And it gives you an augmented reality mirror to actually show what you're wearing in a different size. Would you prefer it in this color? Swipe along to see what you look like in it. This is the revolution that's coming to the e-commerce sphere. And this is where e-commerce is always going to be secondary in terms of actual physical retail stores. If you were starting up in the e-commerce world, I'd 100% say, hold off on building your own website, just go straight to Amazon. But where people, and myself included, still go into physical stores, because you actually want to have it. You go in there to actually have it, pick it up, see what it looks like. This is what Amazon and Google are trying to fix at the moment in time to bridge that gap. It's the only way to save the high street. If you can make the actual interactive experience of shopping more viable and make people actually want to come in, This is how it's going to be. This is what Amazon, this is what Google are aiming for. That's everything from me. My name's Dan. I work for Edit. I'm the new business manager. If you've got any questions, my Twitter handle's at the bottom there, or this is my email.
Thank you. That was brilliant.